What is going on? We're back. Welcome back to another edition of Twin City Trivia, the podcast, episode number 2. For what is hopefully Friday, if everything works out for us here. Let's get right to it. Last week's top teams playing with us live at Twin City Trivia came from either Springfield or Bloomington Normal. Now, that's not to say that these are the only teams and the only places where we hosted trivia last week. These are just the teams who had the highest scores on those respective nights. And since we have such a high number of venues in those two communities, that is why you'll probably see them trending a lot here. So if you want to see your town on this list sometime, then go ahead and start knocking on some doors, getting some bars to host us. Hell, let me come to your house. Okay, please, let me in. I want to come in. Please, I need to use your bathroom. Last week's top team, starting with our teams from Springfield. We had Ebony Squared and Ivory, who were playing at Boone's, and the Bulging Discs, who were playing at Anvil and Forge. Moving on to Bloomington Normal, our top teams last week were the Indiana Cacti, who were playing at Blono Pizza Co. We're Just Here to Make Friends, who played at Gill Street, and Dave's Not Here, man. They were playing at Fat Jack's. We also have I Want a Star, Kevin, playing at Crawford's Corner. All those teams from here in Bloomington Normal. Congratulations. You guys are really smart. Our best team names, as picked by me, so you know they're good. From last week, we had Baba Booey, Pre-Sex Tacos, The Cucumber Incident, and Horn Dogs for Corn Dogs. A true meeting of the minds, because I believe 3 of those teams were all at the same venue. If only I could have been a fly on the wall for any of those conversations. In other news, last week on Thursday, I got to check out a little bit of our host, Alec McCath, he was hosting at Maggie Miley's, and it was incredible. There were 66 people playing, which if you're not familiar with Maggie Miley's, it's a very small bar. And a lot of them were the college students, but it was true to life pub trivia. Everybody quiets down to listen to the question. Everybody cheers when they get the answer right. It was like being in a bar during a playoff game. The energy was incredible. Maggie's is one of our newest venues, so definitely go give it a try, but get there early to grab a seat because everything will fill up for trivia. Other than that, hit the link in the description to grab a team ID if you are local to the Bloomington Normal Central Illinois region. Like I said, hopefully we'll be able to extend that invitation to our remote players and our other listeners as we grow the podcast. But for now, it's just limited to our immediate community here in Central Illinois. Grab a team ID so that you can be collecting points. And it all leads up to Trivia Bowl in November, around the end of the year. And we started qualifications at the beginning of the month, but I still think if you're really good at it, you can qualify to make it into Trivia Bowl. Link in the description. More information there if you need it. I can't remember everything. Come on. I'm just a host who's reading everything off of a screen. With the news and highlights out of the way, let's take a check of the rules. And at this time, I would like to introduce, for the first time on this podcast, RULEBOT. RULEBOT, what are the rules for the podcast?
Thank you. It's great to be here. I just flew in from Robot City, and boy are my servos in need of routine maintenance. I mean seriously, whose hardware do you have to reseat to get a hydraulic fluid replenishment around here? Here are the rules. Twin City Trivia, the podcast, puts players through 5 category rounds of 5 questions each, before ending on a final round consisting of one more harder question from each previous round. After 3 rounds, players will face a halftime challenge, brought to you each episode by a special guest. Scoring is optional. The fun, however, is mandatory. Warning, must eliminate user. Warning.
All right.
User.
I think that part at the end is like a play that he's working on or something. I don't know. We try to keep him turned off most of the time, and I think somebody forgot to do that. Anyway, with the rules in mind, let's get into round number 1. Round number 1 is called Fictional Ships. Set sail with us as we ponder these hypothetical vessels. Starting off with question number 1. Composed of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, what island seemingly inspired Robert Louis Stevenson when naming the ship in his 1883 book, Treasure Island? Number 2, ranked on Yelp as the #1 pizza in the country, What legendary Chicago spot shares its name with the vessel from Herman Melville's Moby Dick? Number 3. The Chronicles of Narnia film series ended on what third installment, named for the ship that rescues the Pevensey children after their sudden return to Narnia? Number 4. As a 2012 film, it carried Ben Affleck to the Golden Globe. Before that, what ship carried Jason and his similarly named warriors to the Golden Fleece? Capping it off with question number 5. In Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Men Tell No Tales, a tentacled Davy Jones captains what infernal vessel? A name which SpongeBob knows well. All right, let's take it back to the top and get to the answers of round number 1's fictional ships. Number 1, composed of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, what island seemingly inspired Robert Louis Stevenson when naming the ship in his 1883 book Treasure Island? That would be Hispaniola. Number 2, ranked on Yelp as the number 1 pizza in the country, what legendary Chicago spot shares its name with the vessel from Herman Melville's Moby Dick? That would be Pequod's. Now, I make no claim as an authority on Chicago pizza other than what goes into my mouth. Other than that, I'm just reading the facts. Number 3, the Chronicles of Narnia film series ended on what third installment named for the ship that rescues the Pevensey children after their sudden return to Narnia? That installment is called The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. The 3rd by publication date, but 5th chronologically out of the, I believe, 6 Chronicles of Narnia books. Maybe there's 7. I think there's 7, actually. Number 4, as a 2012 film, it carried Ben Affleck to the Golden Globe, but before that, what ship carried Jason and his similarly named warriors to the Golden Fleece? That would be Argo. Affleck won as the director for that film, and if you've never seen it, I beg you to please go look at Ben Affleck in Argo. What I had assumed was his wig was actually his real hair, and for me personally would be enough to disqualify him for Best Actor in a drama. Finally, number 5, in Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Men Tell No Tales, a tentacled Davy Jones captains what infernal vessel? A name which SpongeBob knows well. That is the Flying Dutchman. What the? Did you hear that? Weird. All right, there it was, round number 1. Let's take it on into round number 2. Round number 2 is called Fictional Ships, as in fictional relationships. What'd you think I meant? This round is all about great romances that never happened. So here we go. Question number 1. The supposed relationship between Tyler Durden and Marla Singer is obtrusive, to say the least, to the nameless narrator of what 1999 film adapted from a Chuck Palahniuk novel? Number 2, though engaged to Edgar Linton, Catherine Earnshaw's first and most intense romance was with what brooding lover in Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights? Number 3, viewers watched actors Ben Savage and Danielle Fishel grow from childhood sweethearts to husband and wife on what ABC coming-of-age sitcom? Number 4, if it weren't for the tragic events of 9/11, what fictional Forks, Washington native may have never met her undying lover Ed or his werewolf rival Jake? And finally, number 5, despite constantly abusing him in public, what PS 118 bully secretly talks to a heart-shaped locket containing a photo of Arnold on Nickelodeon's Hey Arnold? All right, let's spin back to the top of round number 2's fictional ships and hear those answers. Number 1, the supposed relationship between Tyler Durden and Marla Singer is obtrusive, to say the least, to the nameless narrator of what 1999 film adapted from a Chuck Palahniuk novel? I wonder what it is. It's Fight Club. Number 2, though engaged to Edgar Linton, Catherine Earnshaw's first and most intense romance was with what brooding lover in Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights? That would be the round orange cat, Heathcliff.
Hi, Editing Adam here, and I never really stopped to follow up on that, but if you're not familiar with the book, the character's name is Heathcliff. He's just a guy, not a round orange cat. Okay.
Number 4, if it weren't for the tragic events of 9/11, what fictional Forks, Washington native may never have met her undying lover, Ed, or his werewolf rival, Jake? I was, of course, referring to Edward and Jacob. That would be Bella Swan from the Twilight series. Now, stay with me here. On a random Tuesday in September 2001, a Cartoon Network animator was on a ferry to work when he witnessed 9/11 happen right before his eyes. And so to deal with the trauma, he started writing music and then formed a band to perform this music. Now, that animator's name was Gerard Way, and that band was called My Chemical Romance. And as is the case with such bands, a fan by the name of Stephanie Meyer was inspired by the darkness in the music to write about vampires and romance, which led to the Twilight series. Now you know. Question number 5. Despite constantly abusing him in public, what PS118 bully secretly talks to a heart-shaped locket containing a photo of Arnold on Nickelodeon's Hey Arnold? That would be Helga Pataki. All right, that is it for round number 2. On to round number 3. And after round number 3, we get to our halftime challenge. I just want to spoil it for you right now. I'm so excited. All right, but let's get into round number 3 first. Round number 3 is called Are You Ready? Well, are you? I sure hope so, because, oh my God, it's question number 1. Preceding hits like Higher and With Arms Wide Open, Are You Ready is the appropriately titled track number 1 from Human Clay, the 1999 album by what rock band? Number 2, Are You Ready? Asks a creepy whisper during the title sequence of what A&E reality series, which featured illusions and street magic from its titular star? Number 3, since 1992, ring announcer Michael Buffer has generated over $400 million in licensing for what phrase, which he charges about $20,000 per word to say live? Number 4, game developer Void Interactive has seen controversy since their release of what game? A SWAT simulator featuring scenarios that closely resemble real-world tragedies. And finally, number 5, made famous by Gloria Swanson as Norma Desmond in 1950's Sunset Boulevard, what iconic closing phrase made its way to Broadway in 1993 via Patti LuPone in the same role? All right, taking it back to number 1 for our answers for round number 3's Are You Ready? Question number 1, preceding hits like Higher and With Arms Wide Open, Are You Ready is the appropriately titled track number 1 from Human Clay, the 1999 album by what rock band? That would be Creed. Number 2, Are You Ready? Asks a creepy whisper during the title sequence of what A&E reality series which featured illusions and street magic from its titular star? That would be Chris Angel, Mind Freak. Boy, first Creed and now Chris Angel. I don't know if I like where this round is going. Number 3, since 1992, ring announcer Michael Buffer has generated over $400 million in licensing for what phrase, which he charges $20,000 per word to say live? That would be Let's Get Ready to Rumble. Hopefully you at home were able to figure that out. Nice try, pal. Okay. You're not going to get any licensing from me. All right, I know how this works. But now I'm a little bit worried because we got Creed, now we've got Chris Angel, and now wrestling. Let's keep going. Question number 4. Game developer Void Interactive has seen controversy since their release of what game? A SWAT simulator featuring scenarios that closely resemble real-world tragedies. That title is Ready or Not. Ready or Not. Finally, number 5, made famous by Gloria Swanson as Norma Desmond in 1950's Sunset Boulevard. What iconic closing phrase made its way to Broadway in 1993 via Patti LuPone in the same role? That would be all right, Mr. DeMille. I'm ready for my close-up. And that is a real left turn of a question for round number 3. But that is going to take us into our halftime challenge. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to name 7 things. What are those 7 things? Tell them, RULEBOT.
The Abbott World Marathon Majors is a series of 7 of the largest and most renowned marathons in the world. These prestigious 26.2-mile races are internationally participated events in the United States as well as abroad. For your halftime challenge, you will have 30 seconds to name the 7 cities hosting the Abbott World Marathon Majors in 2026. Your time begins now.
All right, and time is up. Here are your 7 major cities hosting an Abbott World Marathon Major race next year. They are the Tokyo Marathon, which is usually held in early March, followed by the Boston Marathon, usually held on Patriots Day in April. That's followed by the TCS London Marathon, also held in April, I think just 6 days later this year. That is followed by the TCS Sydney Marathon, held in late August, early September. That is followed up by the BMW Berlin Marathon, held in late September. After that, we have the Bank of America Chicago Marathon, which is held in October. And those of you who are chill, weren't worried, you knew this one was coming. That is the TCS New York City Marathon, which is held in November. All right. On to round number 4. Round number 4 is called WHATBALL. I just invented a new sport. I'm going to ask you questions about sports that are played without balls, and you will answer them. I call it WHATBALL. Let's play. Question number 1. The oval won't be the only buzzworthy shape at the White House this year. On June 16th, the UFC will host a fight on the South Lawn featuring what signature fighting arena? Number 2, after emulating a move he used as a kid in video games, Ross Chastain forced what sports league to update their rulebook to ban wall riding? Number 3, 17-year-old Chloe Kim hit the halfpipe to become the youngest woman to win gold in what sport? The 2018 Olympic Games in Pyeongchang. Number 4, multiple stages, 21 to be exact, some of which traverse the Alps and the Pyrenees, compose the massive circuit of what annual race? Finally, number 5, turn-based sports rule because there's time to smoke cigs and drink beer. I'm talking pool, darts, bowling, and what winter sport played with a 44-pound stone? All right, let's get into the answers for round number 4. WHATBALL? Number 1, the oval won't be the only buzzworthy shape at the White House this year because on June 16th, the UFC will host a fight on the South Lawn featuring what signature fighting arena? That is the Octagon. Number 2, after emulating a move he used as a kid in video games, Ross Chastain forced what sports league to update their rulebook to ban wall riding? That would be NASCAR. Right now, I can personally vouch for this. Those games were physics sandboxes. A lot of the intense physics that they needed to run made for a lot of really weird stuff that happened if you didn't play the game as intended. So there's nothing like getting off a super long shift of raking leaves, cracking open a vanilla Coke, and then driving backwards into other cars at the Daytona 500. Number 3, 17-year-old Chloe Kim hit the halfpipe to become the youngest woman to win gold in what sport at the 2018 Olympic Games in Pyeongchang? That would be snowboarding. Number 4, multiple stages, 21 to be exact, some of which traverse the Alps and the Pyrenees, compose the massive circuit of what annual race? That would be the Tour de France, which, fun fact, the direction of the race alternates each year, so you can get a nice even tan. I think that's a really thoughtful thing for them to do. Number 5, turn-based sports rule because there's time to smoke cigs, awesome, and drink beer, hell yeah. I'm talking pool, darts, bowling, and what winter sport played with a 44-pound stone? That would be curling. I love curling because the guys who are really good at it look like smoking cigs and drinking beer is the professionally competitive part, and then sliding the stone around is just something that they do while they wait for the waitress or waiter to bring them another beer. All right. On to round number 5. Round number 5 is called FKA Quiz. Companies don't always hit it big with their first name, so they rebrand. Let's learn about that. Starting with number 1. Jerry's Guide to the World Wide Web rebranded their search engine service to what one-word moniker that's far lower alphabetically and somehow even sillier? Number 2, when their original name, Cadabra, was mistaken for cadaver in a 1994 phone call, the CEO of an online bookseller and his now ex-wife Mackenzie pivoted to what name? Number 3, founded by a future chum of the previously mentioned CEO, the online bank X.com merged with rival Confinity and rebranded as what friendly online money service? Number 4, Brad's Drink. Sounds awesome, I know. But since 1898, they slowly rebranded as what beverage as it's known today, which is settled on by millions of unsuspecting restaurant patrons every year. Finally, number 5, Pasadena, California, 1967. Pronto Markets opened their first grocery store under what tiki-inspired name borrowed partially from its owner? All right, back to the top of the page for question number 1 and its answer. Jerry's Guide to the World Wide Web rebranded their search engine service to what one-word moniker that's far lower alphabetically and somehow even sillier? That is Yahoo. But don't worry, luckily the guy that says it in the commercial says it normally. Number 2, when their original name Cadabra was mistaken for cadaver in a 1994 phone call, the CEO of an online bookseller and his now ex-wife Mackenzie pivoted to what name? That would be Amazon. Now, Jeff Bezos really missed the boat on Cadaver Inc. because that trademark now belongs to a band who I found in my research look and sound exactly the way that you might think a band called Cadaver Inc. might. Number 3, a future chum of the previously mentioned CEO founded online bank X.com in 1999, which after a merger rebranded as what friendly online money service? That would be PayPal. Number 4, Brad's Drink. Sounds awesome, I know, but since 1898, they slowly rebranded as what beverage as it's known today, which is settled on by millions of unsuspecting restaurant patrons every year? That would be Pepsi.
Pepsi, the official choice of people who don't look at the menu beforehand.
Number 5, in Pasadena, California, 1967, Pronto Markets opened their first grocery store under what tiki-inspired name borrowed from its owner? That would be Trader Joe's. Now, Trader Joe's isn't the only name you'll find in there. For example, if you're buying Italian-inspired cuisine, you might find Trader Giotto's. Spanish-inspired cuisine is sold under Trader Jose. Chinese-inspired cuisine is sold under the Trader Ming's label. At least it used to be. I don't know if it is anymore. I would be surprised if it still is. And for French-inspired cuisine, Trader Jacques. And if you're wishing that one day a Trader Joe's might come to your city, don't hold your breath, because unless your city's median income is a decent amount over $100,000 a year, then they're not coming. So just take that drive to the nearest big city suburb. All right, on to the final round, which, as you know, consists of one more question from each previous category. Let's check it out. If there are any rules that we need to cover again, I will do that. Don't worry. I would never leave you high and dry like that. I love you. You're my little baby who plays trivia. You're so smart, and I love you. Question number 1 comes to us from round number 1, fictional ships. Here's your question. In Return of the Jedi, To infiltrate the sanctuary moon of Endor, the gang fly a Sinar Fleet Systems Imperial Lambda-class shuttle using what call sign? Number 2, from round number 2, fictional ships. This was the one about fictional relationships. Officer K is a bioengineered Nexus 9 replicant working for the LAPD whose only joy in life is his digital companion, Joy, in what 2017 Denis Villeneuve sequel? Question number 3 from round 3 is, are you ready? From 1992 until 2010, TLC and Discovery Kids aired what block of kid-friendly educational programming, featuring shows like Zoobilee Zoo, The Magic School Bus, and more? Number 5 from round number 4 is what ball? Sports played without a ball. You might use a pancake to catch a scuba, but watch out for a wheel of death while playing what sport popular on American college campuses throughout the 2000s? Finally, question number 5 from round number 5's FKA Quiz. These are companies as they were known before they got famous. Bourbon, spelled B-U-R-B-N, was an app where users could check in at a location, make plans, and share photos. However, user focus on the latter led developers to a rebrand under what name? All right, let's go over it. Our last answer session of the episode. So we gotta make it count, guys. Starting again at question number 1. In Return of the Jedi, to infiltrate the sanctuary moon of Endor, the gang fly a Sinar Fleet Systems Imperial Lambda-class shuttle using what call sign? We all know this one, guys. Come on, that was, say it with me, Shuttle Tiderium. Easy stuff. Hey, by the way, why is Carrie Fisher's pinky nail so long in that scene? Number 2 from round 2's fictional ships. Officer K is a bioengineered Nexus 9 replicant working for the LAPD whose only joy in life is his digital companion, Joy, in what 2017 Denis Villeneuve sequel? That is Blade Runner 2049. This is a classic case of a guy that dudes say he's literally me. And it's typically the guy who doesn't end up with the girl because his life sucks. But any guy who's literally him would never watch a movie and go, he's literally me, because he's too preoccupied with how much his life sucks and how cool he looks all the time. All right. The reason that you don't end up with the girl is because you're the type of guy who watches a movie and goes, he's literally me. Number 3 from round 3 is Are You Ready? From 1992 until 2010, TLC and Discovery Kids aired what block of kid-friendly educational programming, featuring shows like Zoobilee Zoo, The Magic School Bus, and more? That was Ready, Set, Learn. Number 4 from round 4 is what ball? You might use a pancake to catch a scuba, but watch out for a wheel of death while playing what sport popular on American college campuses throughout the 2000s? That is Ultimate Frisbee. In other sports, you get punished if you test positive for PEDs, or performance-enhancing drugs. In Ultimate, you have to sit out if you test positive for DMB, or Dave Matthews Band. Number 5 from round 5's FKA Quiz. Bourbon, spelled B-U-R-B-N, was an app where users could check in at a location, make plans, and share photos. However, user focus on the latter led developers to rebrand under what name? That is Instagram. Instagram, your answer for number 5. Wow, that is going to do it for us today and another edition of Twin City Trivia, the podcast. I have been your host, Adam. I will continue to be your host, Adam. And please stick with us because, like I said in the first episode, I just want to reiterate it here again. We have a lot of awesome, cool, interesting, amazing stuff that we're going to do to get you guys active and participating with us in the podcast, because I don't want it to just be about me sitting in my room, reading questions, waiting for my dog to stop sneezing. I want you guys to be a part of it as well. So keep that in mind as you keep waiting for new editions of this podcast, which I'm hoping to drop every Friday, but we will see. Until then, visit the link in the description to get more info on how you can qualify for Trivia Bowl and sign up for a team ID, and to just get more information about the company in general and see where you can find us and play with us. Until then, come find us out and about at a live pub event. Until next time, I love you. Be safe. Come see us. Goodbye. This has been a production of Twin City Trivia, copyright 2026. All questions are the intellectual property of Twin City Trivia. Please don't steal them. Please don't steal our questions or we'll sue you. Until next time, goodbye.